trading plan, this is the disclaimer, basically not soliciting anybody, not financial advice. I'm not an advisor. The stock market is obviously not easy to predict. We have found that out this week and last week. You will take some losses. You want to win more than you lose. I'm not responsible either way, one way or the other. You got to take full responsibility for yourself. In the words of Peggy, you are the CEO of your portfolio, right? So what is a trading plan? What does a trading plan include? Let's create one, and then we're going to have our assignment. I'm going to walk us through. Now, if you don't have already, get something where you, someplace where you can take notes. I am going to record this. It is already being recorded, and I will upload it like I always do, and I will provide the slides. So you don't have to worry about like copying down word for word. I will provide these things for you, but we're going to go through questions in this creation of your trading plan, and you need to be able to jot down things for yourself so that way when you're creating your plan, you will have what you need. You have your notes. All righty. So what's a trading plan? Basically, a trading plan is really much like a business plan. To be honest, it's much like a business plan. It defines what is supposed to be done, why, when, and how. Hey, Rasta. It defines all those things for you. It's what your trading plan is. It covers your trader personality, because some of us are different. We're not all of us are different traders. It covers your personal expectations, your risk management rules, and your specific trading systems, the things that you use as your trading systems. Okay. Come on. When it's followed, a trading plan is going to help limit trading mistakes and minimize your losses. And it's also going to take the emotions out of your trading. We do know that trading a lot is psychological, right? We do all the work up front, but when it comes to time in the moment, your emotions are going all the places, and a trading plan will help you not make errors, minimize your losses for yourself. Of course, we all, because we're human, we enter a trade thinking we're going to be a winner. Who doesn't get into a race expecting to win? Nobody thinks about, I'm gonna enter this trade and it's gonna go against me from minute one and I'm gonna lose all my money. Nobody starts off with that thought. You start off believing you're going to win. But what I'm saying, a trading plan is what we use to say, in case this doesn't go the way I want it to go, then I've got a plan to help me minimize my losses. Okay, that's what we need to do. We have to minimize our losses. So a stock trading plan defines when to buy and sell your stocks or your options or whatever you do, and at what prices. Every trade you make should be governed by your plan. An options trading plan is very similar to a company business plan, basically. What is your business plan for your portfolio? And I just know that if we plan to be here as traders long-term, and I do, me, if you do, so you could say me in the chat, me, we plan to be doing this for a while. We might be doing it at a different level. We might be doing it to a different degree, but we plan on doing this for a while. Right? This is a means to an end for us. And it's not a get rich quick. We have found that out really quick, that this ain't no get rich quick ride. But if we're going, somebody says for life, but if we're going to be here for life, for long term, we need to make sure that we're following some type of guidelines to get us from A to B and to C and D and E. We got to make sure we got this, we got things in line, right? So our trading plans have 4 parts: goals, emotions, trading rules, and your trading routine. We got goals, emotions, trading rules, and a trading routine. Part 1 is our goals. These are the questions you have to ask yourself. What are your current goals for trading? And what do you think is missing right now to prevent you from reaching them? Maybe your goal is a certain dollar amount per week, per day, per month. Maybe that's your goal. Maybe your goal is to just supplement your income to a certain degree. Maybe your goal for trading is to grow your retirement account to a certain amount. Maybe your goal is to just provide, extra vacation money. What you think about, what are your goals for your trading? And what do you think is missing right now to prevent you from reaching them? Of course, you can say, if I had more money, I could trade more money. But I've read so many times that just because you have a bigger account doesn't mean that you're going to win more trades. If we're losing trades with $1,000 or with $100, we're going to be losing trades with $10,000. You're just going to lose on a bigger level. You just lose with more money. It'll feel like it's bigger. So more money doesn't necessarily make the situation be better. When you're a stronger, better trader, then you will make a difference. Chris said his job is keeping him from his goal. I don't know if your job's keeping you from your goal, but it's definitely standing in your way. Your job is driving you to be more successful, Rasta says. You have a lot of skin in the game. This is true. What's missing? Is what's missing for you the ability to chart and understand charting? Is that missing? Is what's missing for you a good understanding of different strategies that you can use? Is that what's missing? Is what's missing, like you heard people talk about being able to defend if it goes against them. So do you not know how to defend a position if it goes against you? Are those things that are missing that will prevent you from reaching your goals? Chris says his job is in the way. So time could be something that could be preventing you from missing your goals. Time to focus. Yeah, that could be a thing too, right? These are your things. You're writing, you're thinking of the answers to these questions for yourself. Part 2 is our emotions. Let's think about this past week. Antoine says his mental's in his way, right? So how did you feel when your trades were going well? When your trades are going, gangbusters, you're like, party over here, party over here. And then what about when your trades are not going so good? Well, how do you feel? And what do you say to yourself when trades are going well? What do you say to yourself when they're not going so well? Can you identify what were your stumbling blocks? What things made you make bad decisions? What mistakes did you make? What mistake did you make? I'll have to tell you one mistake I made, not this week. Was it this week? This week had so much included. The mistake started last week. I traded Amazon last week. And I had one contract but it was a 5 spread. And I got breached and I kept waiting, for it to fix itself. And it didn't, so I lost $500. Well, after Amazon did it, not Amazon, yeah, it was Amazon. After Amazon came down pretty far, because last week it dropped a lot too, I said, it's got to be doing something different. So what I did was decided for this week, I would put in a trade for this week. I put it in last week. So I went from a 5 spread to a 10 spread. Oh yeah, we finna go. We getting our money back from Amazon. What you ain't gonna do is keep my monies. I got in this trade. It was 28.60, 28.50, 10 spread. First of all, I don't do 10 spreads. I know better. That ain't my lane just yet. I know better. I got in for my 10 spread. And then when that price of Amazon dropped and dropped and dropped some more, a sister was looking like, really? What are you doing, Amazon? What are you doing? Lord, if you get me out of this way. So what I did was I was bothered. First of all, I never should have gotten in the second trade. Probably shouldn't have gotten the first one. I never should have gotten the second one for sure. And as soon as it got back to my break even with a little bit of extra money, I got right. As soon as it came up anywhere near 28.60, I was like, I don't care if I keep none of this money. I'm getting out where I got in, and I won't be doing this again. That was my mistake. I never should have revenge traded Amazon. Really, who does this? Right? And it was not going my way. You know, that's not what we do. This is not what we do. So Nelson said he was trading volatile Tesla and FOMO trades. Vicky said when she has a big loss, she writes down everything she did incorrectly and correctly so she can learn from it. Trade not going well, stay calm. Then use words to encourage yourself. That's good. If you can do those, go meditate for a few moments. I'm gonna talk about that too. What do you do after the trade? So we're thinking about, this is the emotional piece because trading is emotional. Keeping track of the things that went well, not so well. How are you when things are going well and not so well? What's in your way? What mistakes are you making? Potential mistakes include FOMO, getting in too early, not looking at a chart, not having a stop loss, thinking it's gonna come back up. Revenge trading, taking on too large of a position. This goes on and on. Oh, I think this trade gonna be right here. I'm gonna this right here gonna knock it out the park. And you jump in there with too many contracts. And you're like, wait, if this goes wrong, this ain't not gonna be okay with me. Those are potential mistakes, things we could be doing wrong. Part 3 is our rules. Think about a winning trade you had recently. We just talked about a bunch of them. Did you have a step-by-step recipe? I would say I probably don't have no recipe. I mean, I have step-by-steps of entering I have them, it's much clearer now. And what was your enough on the upside and the downside? What is your enough? Like if it's going up nicely, what is your, what lets you know when it's time to get out? And if it's going down or going against you, what is your indicator that it's time to get out that way too? A trading plan helps with both of these. What's my enough when it's going my way? And what's my enough when it's not going my way? Part 4, what is your routine? Do you have a current pre-market routine? And we kind of do some stuff in the mornings. In general, we do, but what do you have as your specific routine? Do you have one and do you need it? Maybe you don't need a specific routine. Maybe ours, what we do together is sufficient. How do you determine how or when to get into a trade? Or what about getting out of a trade? How do you determine when you're going to get in or when you're going to get out of a trade? Do you have a way to track your trades? And do you have a reflection journal? Do you have a reflection journal? Y'all hold on, somebody's at the door and I don't hear my husband opening the door. Pardon. Alrighty, do we have a reflection journal? We should have a place where we can write down, as Vicky said, her corrects and incorrects. All right, so let's do this. Let's do this like Brutus. We started our minds to thinking and processing. Now we're ready to start with our questions and doing. Okay, on your paper, write down what is your daily, weekly, and or monthly goal. What's your daily, weekly, or monthly goal? For me, I don't really have a daily goal. I have a weekly goal. And weekly, I'd like to take in 10% of my account. That's my weekly goal. The reason I say not necessarily daily is because some people don't trade every day. Or we enter trades, maybe you enter a trade on Monday or Tuesday, and that trade is not going to expire until Friday. Right? Or you enter a trade for those, I'm talking, and when I'm talking, I'm primarily talking to sellers because that's what we are here as sellers. So almost all of my comments are going to come from a seller's perspective. If you're thinking as a buyer of options or stocks or whatever, then you'll have to process those things in your own mind, okay? So my goals are kind of weekly. Ms. Irene says her goal is to make more than the week before. You might want to quantify that, but yes, that's a good goal. But you want to maybe put some quantify it with some number, whether it's I want to make $100 each week, or I want to make, like I did, 10%, some percentage maybe, because as your account grows, that's going to change too. And what will you do with your profits? Do you have a plan that your profits will stay in the account? Are you pulling profits every week? You pulling profits every month? Are you pulling profits when they reach a certain place? Think about how that's going to play out for you. Daily, weekly, monthly goals. I got you, Antoine. Number 2. Write down the things you need to know more about to help you accomplish this goal. What do you need to know more about in order to accomplish this goal? I'm putting in the chat, use of charting and EMAs. This is what I'd like to know more about. I don't like my charts to be all crowded with lines. I get distracted by all those lines. But I would like to look more at trending. And I'd like to learn how to use EMAs more. What do you need to know more about to help you accomplish this goal? Yes, Regina?
What's the EMA?
An EMA is exponential moving average. We talked about them a little bit in our in one of our talks a few weeks ago. I think we talked about moving averages. That's what it is. Exponential moving average. That's an EMA. Vicky said she wants to look more at indicators and the MACD and Bollinger Bands. Those are all indicators, things that will help inform your trading. And if you don't know what any of those things are and you don't know what charting is, go start there. How do you, basically, let's start with the basics, which is charting, support, and resistance. Write down what you need to know more about in order to accomplish this goal. Indicators and defense strategies when breached. Good job, Kendra. Number 3, what is your risk tolerance? Risk tolerance is what amount of a loss is okay with you. That you won't be under the covers having a horrible bad day if this is what happens. This is called your stop loss. What is your risk tolerance? I have determined that I'm okay with tolerance is $200. Anything past $200 bugs me more than I want it to. So part of my plan includes staying below this. If your risk tolerance is $50, write that down and be honest with yourself. Don't write on the paper, I'm okay with losing 500, and you know that 100 will send you into a tailspin. Don't do that. Don't do it to yourself. This is your trading plan. You're not writing this for us. You're writing it for you. Nelson says he needs wanting to work on most risk tolerance because I hold trades thinking it will come back. Yes. Many people hold it'll come back. It's going to come back up. And Antoine's good about this because he's watching the same stock all the time. But if you don't watch the thing all the time, or if you have several trades going at once and you can't watch everything, then you'll be thinking this is going to recover. You look up like it's through both my strikes And I ain't
That's
done.
why, Marissa, that's why I don't trade. I mean, that's why you see me stick with like one trade. And when I did it yesterday, I was multi-trades, trying to watch the SPY, do this. And I knew the SPY, I knew at 3 o'clock I was going to lose. I was down $400 at 3. I could have got out at $400 loss, but then, you know, the last hour it went crazy and I lost another 200. I knew at 3 o'clock I was going to lose. But I still kept in there saying maybe it would come back in the last 30 minutes, you know, the last hour is power hour. It would come back. I should have took my loss at 400 at 3 o'clock because I knew it's not, because you're not getting that $4 back. But I stayed in there and lost another $210 in the last hour. So that's what I say. It's mental. It's all about mental. You have to work on your mental game.
I agree. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. So yeah, we're writing down our risk tolerance. What is your true risk tolerance? Okay. Number 4. JB say he stalks his trades like paparazzi. What's the difference between risk tolerance and amount you use as collateral? Okay, that's a good question, Rasta. Rasta's saying, could you explain the difference between risk tolerance and use as collateral? So now for me, they're kind of one and the same. As a seller, I won't do a trade greater than my risk tolerance of $200. If my whole trade goes south and I lose $200, that's my okay amount. But just because I have that as my collateral, you can have a $200 collateral, but your risk tolerance only be $100. And then your plan then is to say, if this trade is down $100, I'm getting out. Or you can have your collateral can be 300, 400, 500, but your risk tolerance can be less than that. And you have a plan that says, if this trade starts to go opposite that I want it to, and it goes past my risk tolerance, I'm going to get out. I'm going to just take the loss. So let's say, for example, you have a 500 or a 5 spread and your risk tolerance is $100. What you're saying is when it gets to $100 down, I'm going to exit the trade. Okay, this next question, what kind of trader are you? Are you a buyer or a seller? Of course, I'm a seller. Are you aggressive or passive? I feel like I'm aggressive. Are you active or more hands-off? I think I'm kind of middle of the road, active and hands-off. I'm active in that I'm continuing to watch my trades almost all day, but I'm hands-off because I do a lot of other stuff while my trade is on, which means I'm not necessarily watching the entire time. It's up on my screen, I'm checking back and forth, but I'm not watching closely.
What if you're one, but you really want to be, you really need to be the other one?
Okay,
I'm aggressive, but I don't want to be aggressive.
Then that's what you put. You put that I am aggressive, but I don't want to be. Then you write that down. This is you putting a really good, a good, accurate assessment of where you are. Rasa says he's a seller with aggressive growth and he's active. Antoine says both of everything. He does everything. You got to fine tune it a little bit more, Antoine. But the good thing about you, Antoine, is you only do 1 or 2 stocks. So you can be all of those things because you only do a couple different stocks. But if you're going to do a lot of stocks and try to be buyers and sellers, that's doing too much. And try to work a job and anything else, it's all the pieces and the parts. Number 5. What kind of stocks do you trade? I have found that I like and you all been with me long enough to know what I like. I like the smaller, less expensive growth stocks that I believe in. I like things that are, coming up at this point. At this point, they've all went down, but I like the ones that are the new babies who are coming out of the gate. That seems to be my bag more so. I'm not a person who's like an Apple or a Tesla or an Amazon. Those things don't draw me as much as my, I like growth stocks that are more like up and coming. A little bit more volatility because the ones I seem to like seem to be a little more volatile.
I call Tesla my YOLO.
Yo, you call Tesla YOLO. Maybe Tesla gonna snatch your soul. Be careful.
Well, I'm not doing. Well, I got a debit spread right now.
Okay, good. Spreads.
Yeah.
On those big boys, you got to do spreads so that you can protect yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Don't do single calls or puts because they'll
Yeah.
mess you up.
They will. And they're expensive. Not only will they mess you up, they're costly. What kinds of stocks do you trade? Do you like certain ones? Are you a blue chipper? Are you only stick with a certain sector? Do you, just stick with indexes? Are you solely IT? Kind of what things get weekly expiring? I like the ones who expire every week. Yes, I'm all for that. Nelson said he likes to mix it up. Nelson goes looking for babies and then he goes and investigates. Question 6. What strategy or strategies will you use for trading? What strategy or strategies will you use for trading? I'm writing in the chat, I use all seller strategies, which are, all 4 of them. I employ all 4 of them, and I'll employ them all on the same stock at the same time. Be clear on the guidelines. If you're going to use credit spreads, you need to know how to work credit spreads and how to do the hedging, the protecting. How do you know to enter? If you're going to pick one, then you need to know how that strategy works. If you're going to do debit spreads, know how it works. If you're going to sell just puts, know how that works. If you're going to sell cover calls, know how it works. Yes, Rasa says seller strategies and buying 100 shares to do covered calls. Absolutely. Okay, what strategies will you use? If you're a scalper, write that. If you're a day trader, write that. If this is how you work it, this is your plan. How do you work it? Okay, getting into the meat. Jamie said he's still exploring that part. Okay, good. It's good. We're still testing out what works for you, what fits your trader personality. Question, what is your criteria for entering a trade? Your criteria for choosing a stock, for entering a trade? Do you have a criteria for when you're going to enter a trade? How you will enter, when you will enter? What is your criteria? Do you have one? And if you do, you should be able to put it on some type of writing. Do you enter when you're approaching a support and resistance or resistance line? Do you enter, to put credit spread when it's approaching support? Do you enter a call credit spread when it's approaching resistance? Do you enter on certain days of the week? I know people who enter their verticals on Monday and they always plan to get out on Wednesday. I mean, they have a strategy. Do you enter at a certain time of the day? Some people do, like first thing in the morning, they're going to trade for 2 hours and they're finished. Some people wait to the last hour of the day where they do the power hour trading. Some folks, like a lot of us, trade all day long. And I don't know if all day long is working in my favor all the time, because I find that if I'm trading all day long, I may enter stuff that doesn't necessarily fit my plan. If I go back to my plan, there's some stuff I would not get in. But if I'm trading all day, I find myself doing that sometimes. TY says, how many trades should one get involved with in a day? It really comes down to how many trades can you handle. If you think you can handle 2, that's how many you do. If you can handle 5, do that. If you can handle 10, it's really how many can you handle watching. I do find that for me, because my focus will get distracted. I've been trying to do all kind of stuff that if I've got more than 4 or 5, I got too many. Charlene said she trades in the morning, takes a break, and come back for the last hour. There we go. Number 8, what is your criteria for exiting a trade? Yes, it will, Antoine. What is your criteria for exiting your trade? Rasa says his option buying power goes down if I do too much. Absolutely. You start doing too much, the buying power will let you know you are doing too much. What's your criteria for exiting? Do you exit when it approaches support or resistance? Are you watching these places so you'll know when you get out? Do you exit at a certain percent? Like we talk about exiting at 70% of our trades because we're sellers. And for me, if I get to 70%, I pretty much start to look at an exit. 70, 75% is the numbers for me. A lot of times I put in the exit number, the closing order, the day after I enter, and I let it sit as a GTC to let me know which things are getting set to close. I can see what as the premiums are decreasing, I can see it on my close order list. For me, it's a certain percent of profit. Some people may have a certain dollar amount or a certain percent of loss. That's where we go back to that stop loss. If your stop loss or if your risk tolerance is $100, then you need to have an order in place that says at $100 of loss, if I'm down $100, I'm exiting this trade. And not move the stop loss. People do that, you know, because they say it's coming back. And if I leave my stop loss here, I'm gonna get stopped out. And I could tell myself, if you get stopped out, you can just get back in, but you don't have to stay in hoping, you know. You must determine your non-negotiables because there are some non-negotiables that you have to set for yourself. Because only trading, though it can be a collective thing, it really is very personal. You must determine what are my non-negotiables. I'm getting out at $200 loss, period. That's what you have to tell yourself. Whatever your dollar amount is, I'm getting out at blank, period. I'm not waiting. I'm not hoping. I'm getting out. I'm getting out at the resistance place, period. And or if I'm going to put in some kind of trailing stop, I'm going to put something in place to protect myself. If it starts going, if it turns back or does something weird, how am I going to protect myself? Whether that's putting in alerts, putting in trailing stops, there's so many different ways you can make this work for you. But you must put in your non-negotiables and make yourself stick to them. Number 9. This is what TY was just asking. How many trades will you take on at one time? Think about how many trades really can you handle at a time? And if the answer is 1, then put 1 and then do 1. Sometimes 1 is all the person can handle, especially, I know we got some SPXers in the group, and because SPX will go nuts on you, sometimes you just need 1 because SPX got too much going on for you to be focused on other things. Right?
Yeah. Remember, Arlissa, one time I was doing multi-trades. I remember I told you I stopped doing the multi-trades because of the PDD, the PPD laws.
PDT, yeah.
Like, yeah, every time you're doing 3 to 4 trades and you try to get out of it when something go down, you're gonna get stuck. So that's why I said I don't even do like, remember I was doing like 4 or 5 one time. And I was like, no, because every time they kept on saying warning, PPD, PDD, and I just stopped doing it. So I said, let me 1 or 2, you can get out fast.
Find another one. So Charlene says no more than 3. Nelson said too many trades can dwindle your account. Chris says LOL. And Denise, SPX needs all your attention. Yes, ma'am. SPX takes all your attention. So if you're going to trade SPX, you need to know if you're putting that in your trading plan, that SPX requires focus. It requires focus. How many trades can you handle at one time? Number 10, what maximum position size will you trade? For me, my maximum is 2 contracts or $200 total per trade. Yep. If I'm doing a position, I'm doing no more than 2 contracts or $200. I do find that like some of the stocks I trade are $50, have 50-cent or $50 spreads. So I may do 4 contracts on those. But I'm not doing any more than $200 of collateral. Because that's a nice sweet spot for me. I'm comfortable with that. You know, this will work for me. Now, what that means though, some of those bigger boys are off my list because like Apple is a 2.5 spread. That's 250. 250 don't work. Nope, 250 don't work. I'll tell you, Rasta, I got them because I did cash secure puts. But I'm like, yeah, 250 is too much. So the 2.5 spread people, NVIDIA, is NVIDIA 2.5? NVIDIA, Apple, anything bigger than, nah, they're off my list for now. For now, they're off my list because I realized that 250, I don't like 250. Now that's me. Number 11. What environment do you need to trade? I thought about this for Denise the other day. Denise was making a comment about not for NVIDIA, not really. They can be adjusted up to from 250 to 500. Yeah, they can't be adjusted down. So what environments do you need to trade in? Denise the other day was mentioning something about she realizes that different times of the day she trades better. If it's in the morning, or she needs to be focused and concentrate, she needs quiet. These are the things you need to think about. Can you trade and work? Can you trade and do other things? Or do you need to give all of your focus to your trading? And if so, then you need to make sure that you're trading during the time when it fits you best. Do you need all day focus? Do you need certain time of day? Do you need to be quiet? Can it be other things? Can the TV be on too? I mean, you know, everybody knows themselves, but what environment do you need?
Yeah.
We're almost done. Hey, Peggy.
You wait till hey, how's everybody? Hope you guys having a glorious day.
We are doing well.
I just came back from a 4-mile run.
Woo, go ahead then. You take me next time. No, never mind. Don't take me. Number 12, when will you not trade? When will you not trade? Is it you will not trade like immediately after you've had a big loss? You will not trade in the afternoon, not trade when you're distracted. Can you not trade after you've met your goals? I've heard Peggy do this a bunch. Peggy say, I met my goal for the week and I got off. Now, generally she'll come back and say, I got back into something, but she does start off saying the right things. I met my goal. I cannot trade now. I'm done trading because I met the goal.
I've done it and I stick to it sometimes, but sometimes I don't stick to it. And then if I don't stick to it, that's when I mess up.
Here we go. Do we say we're not going to trade during earnings? Because we found out that trading during earnings, Nelson, Arlissa, that it don't always work out. I actually totally missed something had earnings and I think it was Microsoft. And I don't think I knew they had earnings even coming up. I didn't look. So when they had earnings and my trade went bust, I was like, well, who knew they had earnings? We know we're not going to trade. Well, I don't. When the Fed is going to speak, I'm not entering. I'm waiting to see what's happening when the Fed is talking. Or we know we're not trading SPY when the VIX is too crazy. If we're not trading iron condors, but you have a criteria for what are the times when you're not going, if you're emotionally unfocused, are you not going to trade then? If you're traveling, y'all seen me, I've traveled for 2 days. I'll exit all my trades before I'm going to travel because I know I'm taking 2 days of moving from one spot to the next. I can't watch anything that way. Regina said, when somebody's speaking, Vicky said, I don't trade when I travel, too distracting. Karen says, which of the strategies you teach are not best when the VIX is high? Just pretty much that SPY, those not iron. You can do SPY, triple Q, and IWM. Just shouldn't do iron condors because if you try to do both sides, you're asking for trouble. All the other strategies work great with the VIX is high. Okay. think that might have been, oh, we got one, this has to be our last question. So what is your after trade process? Do you journal after your trade? This is whether it goes good or not so good. Do you stay on your computer? Do you leave your computer or your app or whatever you're using to trade with? Do you go for a walk or run like Peggy was just talking about? What do you do after the trade? It can be for good things too, things that went when the trade went well, but you definitely want to have a plan for when the trade doesn't go well. What did you write down what happened? What good things you did, what not so good things you did, what mistakes you made. You know, you want to have a place where you can write those down. TY says, I journal all bad trades. Yes. So we can go back.
Journal your good trades too, though. I
Yeah.
mean, don't just journal your bad trades, journal the good ones too.
Good ones too, I agree, journal them all.
Those feelings make a difference, man.
Journal them all, yes. Oh my goodness, sorry, I thought we were done. 14. This has to be the last one. What trade-related activities do you do on the weekends? This is like preparation. What trade-related activities do you do on the weekends? When the market is not open, what kind of preparation, like debrief from the previous week, get prepped for the coming week? What kind of things do you do? More reading? Do you chart? Do you get prepped for what the week looked like? Like, what do you do on the weekends? We're doing it now. Yes, this is what we do. This is part of it. I see charting, use Thinkorswim on demand for back testing. Yeah, we're doing it now. This is part of it. This is true. Cool. Watch videos or read. I try to take one day to do something non-trade related. Really, how many times we do this? Okay, so this is my one pager. I have it on a screen behind me. Y'all may be able to see back here behind me. It sits right here back behind me so that I can always turn around and see this board. It's a whiteboard. And this is my one page. Now, a lot of stuff we just talked about is not on this one page, but this is what will help and can help and guide me when I'm making decisions. I put me some notes at the top, where we're going, stocks I use, strategies I use, technicals that I use, entry criteria for the 4 strategies that I use, and when do I exit. This is my one screener, but I want you all to look at creating for yourself either a one pager or something that you can use at any time when you're trading that can help govern your movement. If I'm thinking about, somebody's talking about Apple. Oh, Apple's going, it's going to be da da da. And I look at my little thing. Okay, well, I need 1 spreads. Apple is 2.5 spread. Guess what? Apple's off the list. Because it don't fit the criteria. Doesn't fit my criteria. Okay, I'm looking for high IV stocks. If it doesn't have a reasonable IV, it's not on the list. Okay, notice I say I'm not going to do no more than 10 trades at a time, and I'm trying to bring that number down, but my ADHD gets the best of me.
What is IV again?
Implied volatility. IV is implied volatility. I do.
Got it. Thanks.
You're welcome. One of the classes, I think for cash secure puts, I believe it was, or spread, something we did a couple weeks ago, we talked about using a screener to find high IV stocks. I think it was cash secure puts. Was it puts or verticals? I don't remember. A couple weeks ago, feels like. Notice I have here that SoFi, I'm accumulating shares, which I'm going to use for growth and cover costs. SoFi is my primary focus. All the other things are kind of extraneous. SoFi is my focus. That's what I want to get a good solid position of one stock. And at this point, I have 600 shares of SoFi. FOMO is fear of missing out. Fear of missing out. Okay, Questions, what questions do we have before I move to our next little segment? Do we have any questions, comments?
The website that you were on last week when you were doing the screening, you remember?
Bar chart?
That was it bar chart? I thought you used another one.
I used bar chart last week. I used Market Chameleon 2 weeks ago.
That one. Okay. Thanks.
Market Chameleon, yeah. Any other comments or questions? This has been a lot. It's gonna take a lot of, it's gonna take a little bit of time for you to process through what we just went through. And put it in a format that's gonna work for you. What does your no more than 10 at a time mean? That means I'm gonna do no more than 10 trades at a time. No more than 10 trades at one time.
So is that going to be mixed up, like maybe so many leaps, so many cover calls, so many verticals, or something like that? Are you mixing it up like that?
Well, I have 7 leaps at this point. So I know the 7 leaps I have, I'm automatically working those because they're there, right? So I know I'm doing at least 7 covered calls at any one time because I'm gonna get my money back off those leaps as I go, period. So there's at least 7 right there. If I decide I'm doing anything outside of those, whether I found something that's a good cash secure put, like I've done BBIG cash secure puts for the last couple of weeks, that's not on my 7 list, So that's how those extra 3 get on there by other things. So a leap royal is a long-term position. So it's like buying a call is a long call for a long time. So a further out expiration. So the expiration may be 6+ months. It's called a leap. So I have the leaps that I have are going for till January of next year. So my leap, all 7 leaps I have go for a year. Well, yeah, I bought them December and January. So they're going for a year. So I know I'm working at least those 7. And then whatever else, if I find some other opportunity that I just really, really like, then it'll add to the list. Like Lucid is not, I don't have a leap on Lucid, but I still trade Lucid because I like the company. So that becomes like number 8. And I may end up buying a leap from later. I don't know, maybe. Are you saying you trade stocks with high IV over 30? Yes. Yes. I go looking for stocks that have implied volatility over 30. So because I'm a seller, so I want the smoke as it pertains to that. I want higher IV because we're going to get higher premiums there. And they just have to be managed. So the charge points, Lucid, SoFi, American Airlines, SPY even fits the list. Those are all high IV stocks. DraftKings, I don't have DraftKings, but it's on the list. I don't have them though, but okay. Can we get the slides from today? Yes, I will put the slides in the Facebook group. If you're not a member of the Facebook group, you gotta go join. Facebook.com/groups/Educator2Trader. That's where I put all the goodies. Okay. What else? We're good. We're ready to transition. Okay. Next, it's not really a transition. Next step. All righty. So let's work on planning a trade. We've talked about our whole trading plan. How do we do this whole thing? So this is where I told you we were going to use the journal that we created. It's been now last year sometime, but we're going to use, if you don't have a journal already, this is the link where you can find it. bit.ly/AP-trading journal. You can get a digital version. You can download right away. That way you can have it and print your copies or however you want to do it. You can get a spiral that lays flat if you order it that way, or you can get a paperback and use it that way. Writing, of course, the digital, you can have it right away. Peggy takes hers and she's able to use it right on her tablet, or you can take the digital and print off what you want, just the pages that you need. Righty, let's go through what's actually in the journal. You got some pages that are there. Let me see, let me stop the video because I want to show the pages as they come. So, of course, you got this is a really raw, rare skeleton of a trading plan, right? This is just for you to think through, very short and quick to the point. What do I trade? When do I enter? When do I exit? What strategies do I use? What profit am I expecting? And what are my goals? Got calendar. The calendar is a 2022 calendar as well, not just, it was created in 2021, but the calendar is, they're one for both. Watch, this is a very long list for your monthly watch list or weekly. You can break it out in that. Again, daily, if you're trading 3 a day or whatever, can you write on the digital? Yeah, I think Peggy writes on hers. Peggy, what's the name of the software, the app that you use to write on your digital one? Now, is it OneNote? Peggy, what do you use to write? Something writer. She does not hear me. Okay, this is the page we're going to look at more specifically after this. But the answer to the question, Chris, is yes, you can write on it. Then you have a weekly review. You have a place to write down what happened for the week. All right, and you have a monthly review, a place for you to write down the things that went on for the month. Okay. There's that. Let's look at this page here. Well, I don't want to go there yet. Let me go to, I think we were going, we looked at this already, just a list of your, like your watch list stocks. If you've got some stocks that I put at the top, like some good company criteria, if you're looking at criteria, depending on what you're using them for, you might want to use like, is it a healthy company, best in breed, uptrend, volume over 1 million? I found that I don't have to use the volume over 1 million as much, that I can bring that number down and still trade very well as a seller. So this is like you write what month you're talking about, what stocks you may be looking at on your long watch list. And then for week to week, you may be looking at smaller or shorter ones. Let's say this week you decide coming up this week that the Apple is one that you think is in a good place, then you may put Apple on here for your week 1 of February. You would put Apple and whatever else, and you may just watch that one more closely for the particular week that we're in. This was the weekly review. Stocks I traded this week. What was my reflection about this week? What kind of balance? Did I have profits and losses for the week and thoughts? And then your what's on your list maybe for next week. This was the question from the trading plan. We already went through that. I think that's everything. And then we can go, this is the page. Don't want you. The page we're going to look at right now. On this page, this would be what month are you doing, what month are you in, the stock, the price, earnings, ATR, your support and resistance places, prices here in the middle. This may or may not be important initially because this is probably going to be brought up and get more closer once you are entering the trade. Then you decide, am I day trading it? Am I swinging? Am I doing a long-term trade? Am I long-term buying? Am I doing stocks? Am I going long or short? Or am I doing options? what are you doing? Am I buying? Am I selling? Am I doing spreads? All these questions can be set up when you're planning a specific trade. This is like, I've decided we're gonna do, like you say, I'm decided I'm gonna do this particular stock. I'm doing, in this case, let me go to present. Let's say I filled this in a little bit for Apple. Okay, so I put in the date at the top. We've got January, February, because we're getting ready to cross over the months. The dates here. The day that we're talking about probably would be Monday. What stock are we looking at? The price. I started filling in information. This was a place to do your research and your plan for what are we doing with this particular stock. I did some charting. I looked at the charts. Let me go see if I can pull the chart. Here we go. This is the Apple chart I looked at on the daily. So we got the lines of what it looks like it's doing on the daily chart. You know, you could change it to 15 minutes, add that in too if you've got some other things that are catching your attention. You do that. Take a good, this is like prepping for your trade. Where was I? Here we go. Then you have to ask yourself, are you buying shares or stocks? Are you going to do options? What would be something we do here? Primarily, would we do some shares? Because it's at a, 170. Come up quite nice, huh? Was in the 150s. Now it's like, I'm at 170, boo. Don't mess with me. So what strike prices, expiration, premium cost or credit, if you're taking a credit, goal or target profit, your exit price, risk management or stop loss. And then at the bottom, you're talking about the outcome. How did the trade come out? In this bottom right corner, you're talking about what was the outcome of the trade. And in the journal, there's a page, there's 3 of these per day. So if you were, doing your 3 trades per day, which is plenty, by the way, 3 per day, is, that's 15 a week. That's a lot of trading, But if you're doing 3 per day or 10, I said no more than 10 for me, 10 per week. You can use this sheet to help plan each one of them. All righty, we're off to assignment time. We're at assignment time. Somebody got a question? All righty, we're gonna take all that we've learned today and we're going to create our own trading plan. Take all the stuff you learned today, kind of formulate all your thoughts and your plans and put it all together and share it with your group. Share it with the group. Put it in the chat if you feel like sharing. If you don't want to share, that's fine too. But if you'd like to share, you can. You notice that in the trading plan, there's nothing really there about how much money is in your account or none of that stuff. This is more of a, I would say, I want to use the word generic, but I kind of don't want to use the word generic, but it just doesn't necessarily include dollar amounts unless you're talking about your stop loss, your risk tolerance. That's the only place a dollar amount is really discussed. We're going to create our own trading plan. I would really like to see some of them, even if you send it directly to me so I can see it. I'd like to see some trading plans. Let me know my time was not in vain, Jesus. Let me know my people got some value out of what we're doing here. Okay, we got anything we want to say before I start my before I start my, my first close?
Nice class today.
Thank you, Antoine. Extremely valuable. Thanks, Kendra. All righty, so wrapping up, a trading plan is just like a business plan. Yeah, my first close. Trading plan is like your business plan. Just like you wouldn't start a business without a plan, not a good one that was going to be around a long time. You know, you wouldn't start to trade without a trading plan. And if you have one, just take it back out and dust it off. I've created 1 or 2 or 3, and then I put them to the side, and I came back last week. I was like, oh, we need to come back to this. This is why I decided to put it on our list and our agenda. I was like, if I know if I'm needing to revisit mine, and I'm sure my crew needs to revisit theirs or create one. If you're going to be a successful long-term trader, and I know y'all are, then you must have and use your trading plan. I know y'all are gonna be successful long-term traders. We're gonna be here together, rocking. We're gonna vacation together and hang out together. We're gonna do all that, and we're gonna need Monties for that. We're gonna need Monties for Dubai in October. So that means we need to trade well this year so that we can afford to go to Dubai, right? Yes, need to stop winging it and follow a plan. Good job, absolutely. Truly appreciate all your teaching. You are very welcome, Regina. Jamie says he's gonna write his up and share it because this is not a move he normally make, but this session was convicting. Thank you. I'm glad. I want to keep us accountable. Me too. That's why I shared mine with y'all. So if y'all see me venturing off into no man's land, you like, is that on your trading plan? And y'all gonna hear me say that sometimes.
Yeah, while you was wrapping up, I was setting all my stop losses to get out. Yep. So, you know, stop losing money, just get out if it's not going well.
Yeah. And that's sometimes painful too, to decide that the decision that you made wasn't a good one yet. But it's just as like Alexander says, a successful trade includes winning and getting out at your stop loss. That's still called a successful trade. If you planned to get out at 20% or whatever, then and you do that, that's a successful trade. It might not feel like it because you didn't make the money you wanted, but you didn't lose the money you could have lost either. Okay, we're going to be long-term traders and we're going to use trading plans. Yes, listen, and the way this market is right now, if you do not have a plan, you might as well just toss your money out the window. Okay, because this market right here will require diligence. It's going to require that you have a plan, because it's going to snatch us if we're not careful. We have to be watching and be mindful. I don't know, the market, the Feds haven't even started raising the rates just yet. So the VIX in the 20s and 30s may be a normality, which for us means we've got to figure out, we don't really have to figure it out, because we know now we need to use the strategies that are going to work in the market where the VIX is high. And just like there's buyers out there buying stuff, hoping it go up, and buying stuff, hoping it go down, we're the sellers. If you want to give me your money, I'll take it. I'll take your Monties. We're the sellers. Sellers win in these markets, and we're sellers.